This is ADD360. That was Fuller Down by Jamie MacGuire. We had a little microphone problem earlier where we couldn't figure out which mic was which, and we didn't trace everything back, so we fiddled with the board a little bit. So I think your voice might have peaked out. I was watching it over there. But this is ADD360, and everything's just improvised as it goes. So hopefully it sounded great anyway. It sounded great from here.
Sounded good.
So this is ADD360, Adults Downstairs Drinking. We are in 360 virtual reality. So if you're listening to the podcast side, you can click on and watch us and sit in the middle of the room and look around. There might be some stuff hidden that you can hashtag later and win a prize. Spoiler alert, there isn't, because we don't have sponsors. So also, if we say anything, don't sue us, because one, we don't have money, and two, we're not endorsed by them. So this episode, Sharing is Caring, is the name of the episode. That might change. Hopefully it will. It's about ride sharing, Uber and Lyft, and the differences. Keith and I both drive part-time off the side for Uber and Lyft. You do both, right?
Yeah, I do both.
Okay, and Jamie has ridden with Uber. He's giving us
I've embarrassed myself in many Ubers and Lyfts.
Yeah, so he's giving us the customer perspective, which I've also ridden in them as well. So yeah, basically we're here to talk about the differences. I know with me personally, like when I'm driving in it, people are always asking which I like better because they see the stickers, the Uber and Lyft stickers. Like, oh, you drive for both. What do you do? You know, so I'm sure you have.
Oh yeah, they always ask.
Similar, yeah. So I just know, like, for me, like one of the things that they're always asking, the difference is what I like better, what I don't like better. So it's kind of what we're here to answer today, is all those questions people ask. You know, what the worst ride or the best ride or anything else that pops into our head. It's ADD, so we might change subject. We might not finish a topic. Whatever happens. So
Might go off topic. Who knows?
Yeah. So we're here with Keith. Maybe we should keep last names hidden just in case Uber wants to be like, we want to go after that guy. They use their facial recognition.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I do have to sign in like every 2 months. They require a new picture for me.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. My new picture, I didn't have my glasses, so now I have to take my glasses off to take a picture and put them back on, which is tough when you're like signing back in just from a gas station stop or whatever. But so you've ridden with both, or just Uber, or just Lyft?
Actually, just an Uber.
Okay.
Yeah, just an Uber.
And you were saying earlier about people not wanting to give you rides to where you live.
Yeah, so I was telling Adam the story about so with us we live up in Salem, and you know we'll go out in Boston and stuff like that, and it's kind of baffled me the first time that I didn't realize that you couldn't see like where the destination is. So the guy pulled up and was like, we're like, you know, a little banged up and excited to get home, and we get in and I was like, all right, where are we going? And Salem. And he's like, oh no. No, I'm not going to Salem, which isn't far. It's actually kind of crazy because if you looked at it on the map, it's only about, I think it's like 25
Depending
miles.
on the size of the map, it's only an inch or two.
Yeah.
It's like this far.
It's like 25 miles from downtown Boston, but I think mentally, you know, I mean, we live, you know, in California, 25 miles was nothing. And then
Uber is like, that's 2 hours away, or Google Maps, like, depending on traffic, 2 hours.
Exactly.
You know, like, oh, it's like,
well, that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of similar actually in that way, but it's like, you know, if I'm coming home from work, sometimes if I'm coming home off hours, I can get from Boston to Salem in, you know, half an hour, 40 minutes door to door.
Yeah.
But other times it can be an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, they see Salem and then just like get out.
Yeah. So that's one of the things a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people say that. I've told a lot of people this in rides, that you don't know where you're going. You're picking up somebody here because the fear is that, like, you get there. I don't know if it's a legal thing or not, because I know taxis always ask where you're going, and you don't have to tell them because they have to either take the ride or not take the ride. But they always do anyways. You don't even call for a taxi. Like, where are you going? I'm not coming unless you tell me where you're going. But yeah, so people don't know that you don't know where you're going until they get in the car. And sometimes, like, I drive a lot in Worcester or Boston. I live out near Worcester, which is like a good 48 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic. And sometimes I've had people I pick up in Worcester that are driving to Boston. I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to the airport. We're going, all right, I guess we're going. And if you have nothing going on, fine. But if you have something to do, you're like, oh, crap, like, this is going to be my last ride of the night, you know.
Yeah.
Has it happened to you a lot?
Yep. I had one from Newport to north of Boston.
Yeah. So that's Newport, Rhode Island, or?
Newport, Rhode Island,
okay.
Yeah. Lady of the evening, or a gentleman caller. But that was an awful ride. She didn't even want to go. Like halfway through, she's like, how much longer is this ride? And I'm like, it keeps recalculating. It's another 2 hours. And kept going and going. It was just awful. Nobody had a happy ending of that ride.
Except the guy.
He wasn't home. He forgot. He went to bed.
Yeah, by the time you got there, he was asleep. Yeah, it's I didn't know. Like, so it's actually kind of funny because like my wife, like, and you know, we were talking about like how the weather affects. So much. So like right now she'll be going to the yoga studio, and it's about a mile and a half, and she likes to go to like the really early morning classes, and so if it's a nice day, the weather's nice, she'll run there or she'll walk there. But if the weather's shitty, she'll call. She's called an Uber before, and like she's had a couple rides where she told me like the guy was kind of I think a little pissed off because like she set it up the night before, and I think he, not knowing where they were going, assumed it was like a ride from Salem to the airport, not realizing it was like a ride from Salem to like Salem a mile down the street. You know, and they were like a little bit less than pleased to like, you know, get up there and handle that ride.
Well, I know that's one of like the update things I haven't experienced it recently, but they have done an update now where like if the ride's over a certain time limit, they notify you ahead of time so you can decide whether you're going to take it or not.
For like a long trip?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't had that.
Yeah, I haven't had it since I've heard about the update.
Yeah, but I had one in Worcester, and it was like, because in Worcester sometimes you get them, especially like a Wednesday or a Thursday, you get like a ride that's, I'll drive into Boston on Friday and Saturday nights when it's busy, But if it's a Wednesday and snowing or something like that, I'm like, all right, I'll go out because I have a Subaru and I can drive around in the snow, and you get a lot of more people using it. But I had one, the guy was 15, 16 minutes away or something like that. So I'm like, all right, I accept it. I drive 16 minutes to pick him up at work, and it's across Route 9, so it's like a busy road. Yeah. He lives on the other side of Route 9. Like, you could see his apartment he worked in a strip mall, and he lived in an apartment complex on the other side of the road. So he would have to walk, logistically, he'd have to walk a quarter of a mile, cross the street, and then he's in his front door. But he just got an Uber. So I'm like, I'm driving you across the street, essentially. And I'm like, so it's like a $3 ride or whatever the minimum is. And I'm like, I don't want to be like a dick. I'm like, oh, no, I just drove like 16 minutes. And he's like, oh, I said it was only 15 on my thumb. That doesn't make a difference. You're going across the street, and then I drove back to Worcester.
You could have walked for 5.
Nobody was getting picked up in that town that day.
So how do you guys get paid? Is it like by the trip, by the time, by the mile, or?
Yeah, so it's by trip. Well, it's both. It's
like a little combination of all three. There's like an initial
so you don't get paid.
There's an initial fee
when you're in a McDonald's.
It's like $3 for a pickup or whatever. But it's like the minimum drive, like the minimum distance is like $3 or $3.75 or something. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you pick up and then the McDonald's drive-through. Yeah, I was telling him a story earlier. But yeah, so it's time and distance combined, and it calculates it, and then they take off their fee, and then they give you your money,
the leftovers.
But yeah.
It's also cheaper in Rhode Island because that's where
the ideal thing is like a long trip, like a long.
If that's what you're, but then you might end up somewhere. Like if you're in Boston on a Friday night and you're driving, you can go Cambridge to Southie. You drop someone off Southie, there's someone right there to be picked up.
Yeah.
And you go back and forth. You just driving all around the city. But if you have someone going from there to like Salem, the problem is they have to turn around and go back to Boston because Boston's busier, the rates are higher, or they can wait in Salem and maybe there's someone getting picked up, maybe there isn't. Like, I've driven to Braintree or Weymouth down the South Shore, and then like 30 minutes out of Boston, and then had someone get picked up, and then they're going further south down to Plymouth, and you're like, okay, now where am I going? Like, what?
Yeah.
So you keep rescheduling. Well, what's my night going to be like? I had one time where I went out in Worcester on a Wednesday, just for like, I'll just go out for a couple hours, like a little bit. And I went out, and first ride got picked up in Worcester, and they're going to a Hooters, and I'm like, okay, going to Hooters, and they're going to Hooters north of Boston, over on Route 1. I'm like, you know, there's a Hooters on Route 9, like down the street.
You don't want to go to that.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But it was like, I'm like, oh, and every time I seem shocked, oh, you're going 45 minutes away, you know. But
happens. I had my first ride for Lyft, where I got immediately after I accepted the ride. Once I very first downloaded the Lyft app and got accepted to drive in Massachusetts, because you have to pass the Corey check to drive in Mass. But
yeah. Do you not have to do that in Rhode Island?
No.
See, that's different. So it is different state to state. The laws, the rules and laws are different too.
Definitely. Well, I had to drive Uber in Rhode Island for the first 3 months because they took forever for me to pass my Corey check. For some reason.
That's crazy.
Why was there something on?
No, there's nothing on there.
and did they have to check your car for a Lyft in Mass? Inspect it?
No.
Okay, they inspected my car for Lyft.
Oh, really?
They did not inspect my car for Uber.
It's weird.
But when I tried, there was a situation I was telling Jamie earlier. I went out to LA and I went to use an Uber in LA, and I'd gotten a ride from Lyft before. I'd never gotten a ride from Uber. And I went to request an Uber, but I didn't know that there were 2 different apps. You had to download a driver and a rider app. And if I had, the logo still looked similar. But I clicked onto the driver app and it popped up and it said, oh, something about Los Angeles. Are you here now? And I said, yes. And all of a sudden it told me I had to get my car inspected. I'm like, oh, it thinks I'm driving in LA. And so I had to re-download the other app and everything. And it was fine. I got the ride. But then I came back to Boston to drive and they had canceled my account. They thought I moved to LA. So they kept telling me I had to have it checked. So then, for some reason, through contacting them and everything, then they're like, oh, no, we're sorry. We thought you were in Los Angeles. Turns out, here's the link for everything. They sent me a link to have my car inspected in Detroit instead. I'm like, I don't live in either of these cities. I don't drive in either of these cities. So I had to re-download and re-go through the whole process again, the whole background check as a new driver. And was not eligible for new driver discount because I was already a driver before. But I had to go through the whole process again.
Which I think is absolute bullshit because they can't tell you you're a new driver and then also not give you the new. How are you at the same time?
But because I had my social security number already in the system, I ended up getting all my ratings and everything stayed the same. So it popped back up with all the comments.
It
knew I was me. But but I had to pass a background check as me again because I went to Los Angeles.
But also, why do you have to inspect your vehicle again? If you have a Massachusetts state vehicle,
they inspect your vehicle in California. They don't do it here for Uber. They just have you check it and everything. And actually, one time I had somebody say that my seatbelts didn't work. So Uber, basically, I went to log in the next day, and they're like, "Oh no, you can't drive until you send us pictures of all of your seatbelts." So I send pictures of every seatbelt in my car.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Which makes sense, which is smart because that's good. That's good. But I'm like, if you just inspect my car ahead of time, you would know that. But
well, maybe because when it passes like the mass inspection.
Maybe that's because they do. Okay, that makes sense. And in California, they just do emissions, so that does make sense. All right, we got you, Uber. Thanks.
Figuring some stuff out.
Yeah. So, do you have any crazy? I know people always ask me my crazy stories. Do you have any crazy client stories?
Well, probably my worst customer for Uber, which made me buy a dash camera, like immediately following that, I hopped on Amazon and online and bought a dash cam. Because he was just so ridiculous. Driving during the day, still in Rhode Island, right down in Providence. Picked the guy up and he was hammered. Like, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This guy's 3 sheets to the wind. He
wasn't drinking and driving, which is good, which none of us are doing tonight. So
that's true.
Yeah.
But this guy was wrecked. He's going, it's like a half mile away to a hotel. And he's telling me how he'd never been, like, swimming before. Didn't look like he'd been swimming to me, but... He was telling me all about how he'd never been swimming. Had me shut the radio off right away, which should have been my first warning sign that I'm like, this is a bad ride, right away. And the way that Uber's having me bring him to the hotel, it's just, like right, left, just trying to like weave my way through the city to get to the hotel. And this guy in the back is just not having a good time as we're going back and forth.
Oh, boy.
So I'm like, this is not good. I don't want this guy to puke. And then he's... Like, I missed, like, one of the lefts because, there's a street, every single block. So it's not, like, a big deal if you miss one. So I missed one left, and I'm like, I missed my turn. And he starts freaking out. He's like, you missed my turn. Like, you're just supposed to go straight. All you had to do is go straight to get there. I'm like, buddy, I'm just going the way it's telling me to go. Like, you're going to be there in 2 minutes unless you want me to stop. Like, I'll stop right now. You can get out. We'll just call it on the ride right here. You can get out and go on your way. Everything will be fine. So, like, I make a couple more turns, and he's like, no, just get out right here. I want to get out right here. So I'm like, all right, fine. You can get out right here. So I just pull over, waiting for him to get out. He's, like, slowly grabbing his, container, his bag of clothes. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? All right. He's like, did you shut it off yet? I'm like, yeah, I'm shutting it off right now. I'm going to shut it off right now. Just get out. I just want you to get out. Like, everything's good. Just get out.
I want this to be over.
So I shut it off. So, like, the ride's done.
I always wait till they're out the door.
I should have waited.
I always wait because you never know.
It was like 5 more minutes. His foot's stuck in the footwell. Like, he can't get his feet out of the back seat. It was awful. And he's just swearing the whole time. This fucking thing. He's trying to push my door, like, way open. I'm like, oh, my God, just please get out. He's like, dropping me off in a shitty neighborhood. I'm going to get robbed. I'm like, please, just somebody do it right now. Just end this right now. Finally, he got out, and I'm like, all right, that's it. I, like, shut the app off. I'm like, I'm buying a dash cam. This is not happening again. At least if it is, I'm posting it somewhere. It was ridiculous.
Nice. So, yeah, I don't have a dash cam. I should probably get that. We might talk about that later on. So if you're watching on virtual reality, Uber versus Lyft, let us know what you think in the comments and everything. If you're listening on the podcast, we're going to be right back in a couple of minutes. We're just going to take a quick break. If you liked what you heard, you can tune into other episodes. We got more coming up. Thanks a lot. ADD360.
Later.
Freeze.
And
I could not, when I was playing, I could not hear myself at all.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's why I was like, fuck, dude.
I was watching it.
It's all right. Adam wasn't really recording it all.
Yeah.
It was going. I could see it going. Yeah, I could see it going up on the chorus.
Yeah.
Well, you got loud because a couple times it was getting up. So I'm like, I hope it's not
shit.
Maxing.
And I realized while you're playing it, I'm like, you know what? It was probably because you turned your thing down to listen to his
right.
To his mic. The camera might still be going like in a couple seconds or something, but
that's all right.
It always
Murphy, you looked at, I was like making weird faces at the camera, and you looked at me like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like,
oh no, I didn't realize you were doing it. Last episode, I just randomly I had this kid, Dan. So my cousin was one of the hikers, and this other kid, Dan, who I'd met on the trail, so we kind of knew him a little bit and everything. But I asked him like a serious question. He's like going into it and everything, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, I realized the camera's right there, and someone might be looking at me at any time. So I just stuck my tongue out at the camera, and he's sitting across from me, and he just goes like, but he saw me like my eyes focused on the camera, not on him.
Right.
So I can tell you, and he just goes. and just kept going the story. I'm like, oh,
that's what I'm thinking. I was like, the camera's going. I should just like, in case somebody's panning around, I should just make some fucking goofy faces right now. And be like,